I want to welcome everyone here to Jazz Vespers, those who are joining us in person and those who are joining us online to this night. It is Sunday, October the 9th in 2022. Delighted to have Cliff Brucker here with us tonight on solo piano. And yes, Cliff. And I also want to introduce myself. I'm Reverend Dr. Daniel Carlson of the First Reformed Church of Schenectady. Here I'm the Associate Minister and glad to be with you all. Jazz Vespers happens every Sunday at 5 p.m. It's a pause for reflection between one week and the next. And it is mostly music, especially tonight it's mostly music, and I'll be doing just a little bit of talking. Some poems, I'm thinking tonight, from Mary Oliver. We do not have a theme, but we've got some great medleys that Cliff is going to treat us with. And what's the first one, Cliff?
I was changing. I'll do a song by Henry Mancini called Junesville, and then I'll float into a tune called Digging Summer, and hopefully we'll get an nice and neat summer this year.
Very good. So every morning, my wife and I read the New York Times, and we read a poem from Mary Oliver. We're making our way through the collection of her writing called Devotions, and I share with you several this morning. This one from her collection of poems that was published in 2015, Felicity, The Gift. Be still, my soul, and steadfast. Earth and heaven both are still watching. Though time is draining from the clock, and your walk that was confident and quick has become slow. So be slow if you must, but let the heart its play its true part. Love still has, as once you loved deeply and without patience. Let God and the world know you are grateful that the gift has been given. Back to you. And what's next, Cliff?
I like to jam out, if you will, on a nice old tune called Cast Your Fate to the Wind. It's not really a jazz tune, but I like to play it. I put a little Latin thing in the middle, and it kind of fits this time of year, like Cast Your Fate to the Wind, Indian Summer, play some things like that to have, I don't know, just kind of like fill in with this time of the year where things are changing and getting a little crispy out there and the wind's starting to blow. So we're going to cast our fate to the wind.
And what's it called again?
Cast Your Fate to the Wind.
Cast Your Fate to the Wind.
Yeah. You'll recognize it even if you don't remember the name.
Mention of the wind brings this poem to mind, Goldenrod, Late Fall. This morning, the goldenrod are all wearing their golden skirts, fresh from the heaven's soft wash in the chill night. So it must be a celebration. And here comes the wind, so many swinging wings. Has he been invited, or is he the intruder? Invited, whisper the golden pebbles of the weeds as they begin to fall over the ground. Well, you would think the little murmurs of the broken blossoms would have said otherwise, but no. So I sit down among them to think about it while all around me the crumbling goes on. The weeds let down their seedy faces cheerfully, which is the part I like best, and certainly it is as good as a book for learning from. You would think they were just going for a small sleep. You would think they couldn't wait. It was going to be that snug and even as all their lives were, full of excitation. You would think. It was a voyage, just beginning, and no darkness anywhere, but tinged with all necessary instruction and light, and all were shriven, as all the round world is, and so it wasn't anything but easy to fall, to whisper, good night. What's next?
Yeah, I know, not brave, right? But I just came up with that at a moment's notice, so I'm going to play Moment's Notice. Then I'm going to follow it by a song he wrote for his wife called Naima. And then, so once we're taking these big steps into the fall, finish up with something called Giant Steps. Okay?
This poem comes, another Mary Oliver poem, comes from New and Selected Poems, Volume 2 from 2005. And it is sort of thought of it as you shared the letter of John Coltrane to his wife, thinking about love. It's called Wild, Wild. This is what love is, the dry rose bush, the gardener, in his pruning mist, suddenly burst into bloom, a madness of delight and obsession, a holy gift certainly, but often, alas, improbable. Why couldn't Romeo have settled for someone else? Why couldn't Tristan and Isolde have refused the shining cup which would have left peaceable the whole kingdom? Wild sings the bird of the heart in the forest of our lives. Over and over, Faust, standing in the garden, doesn't know anything that is going to happen. He only sees the face of Marguerite, which is irresistible. And wild, wild sings the bird. What's next?
Beautiful compilation of Cole Porter tunes. Reminds me of this time of year, going away. Every time we say goodbye, I cry a little. Followed by daylight savings time, night and day. So I'll give this a shot.
So it felt like a song for autumn. Yeah. So this comes from Mary Oliver's collection of poems found in Thirst from 2006. A song for autumn. In the deep fall, you don't imagine the leaves. Think how comfortable it would be to touch the earth instead of the nothingness of air and the endless freshets of wind. And don't you think the trees themselves, especially those with mossy, warm caves, begin to think of the birds that will come, 6, a dozen, to sleep inside their bodies? And don't you hear the goldenrod whispering goodbye, the everlasting being crowned with the first tuffets of snow? The pond vanishes, the white field over which the fox runs so quickly brings out its blue shadows, and the wind pumps its bellows, and at evening especially, the piled firewood shifts a little, longing to be on its way. And
Well, we can't have a jazz outing without mentioning royalty, Duke Ellington, Billy Strayhorn, and I'd like to do a tune called Isfahan. Not that it has anything to do with Ukraine, but I was trying to think of something that sounded exotic, far away. And Isfahan is one of the selections from his Far East Suite that Duke Ellington penned, but Billy Strayhorn penned the Isfahan version of that. Billy Strayhorn penned a lot of tunes he didn't get named. And then when Billy Strayhorn was dying, he was, if you don't know, Billy Strayhorn was Duke Ellington's right-hand man. They wrote together, best friends. He wrote Take the A Train to, because he had to take the A Train to go up to Harlem to see Duke Ellington when he first met him, and so he wrote, on the train, he wrote the song Take the A Train and became Duke Ellington. So that's Billy Strayhorn. And when he was dying from lung cancer, he's a heavy smoker, he was staying in the Upper Manhattan Medical Group Hospital, and he wrote this song called the Upper Manhattan Medical Group. And I'm also just going to start off with a little easy swing from Duke Ellington. We all know this.
How would you live then? This poem comes from the collection Blue Iris, 2004. What if 100 rose-breasted grosbeaks flew in circles around your head? What if the mockingbird came into the house with you and became your advisor? What if the bees filled your walls with honey and all you needed to do was ask them and they would fill the bowl? What if the brook slid downhill just past your bedroom window so you could listen to its slow prayers as you fell asleep? What if the stars begin to shout their names or to run this way and that above the clouds? What if you painted a picture of a tree and the leaves began to rustle and the bird cheerfully sang from its painted branches? What if you suddenly saw that the silver of water was brighter than the silver of money? What if you finally saw that the sunflowers turning toward the sun all day and every day, who knows how, but they do it, were more precious, more meaningful than gold? How would you live then? What's next?
What's next? That was everything I had planned. But I got a million songs. How about, this is wishful thinking. Spring is here.
Well, I couldn't say you saved the best for last, but that was my favorite all night. Thank you, Cliff. Yeah, so just want to remind folks, we're not going to ask Cliff to keep playing, so we're going to end a little bit early tonight, but want to remind folks that this is a self-supporting ministry, in part, First Reformed Church, so I encourage you to be generous in your support of this wonderful opportunity for music and word. And there's not offering plates, but there's a box in the hallway. If you've never found it before, I hope you'll find it on your way out. But before you find it on your way out, I hope you find your way over to some snacks that Marjorie has put out. Thank you, Marjorie, for that. Want to also make note that next week, right here, Peg and Bill Delaney will be holding forth, as well as Reverend Lynn Carmen Bodden. For that time together. Before we go, I want to one more time thank Cliff Brucker for playing tonight. This is just wonderful. And I want to leave you with this blessing. This blessing, as every word that I've spoken tonight, it comes from the wonderful work of Mary Oliver. This blessing is called Mysteries, Yes. And it gathers us from her collection, from Evidence, Mysteries, Yes. Truly, we live with mysteries too marvelous to be understood. How grass can be nourishing to the mouths of the lambs. How rivers and stones are forever in allegiance with gravity, while we ourselves dream of rising. How two hands touch, and the bonds will never be broken. How people come from delight or the scars of damage to the comfort of a poem. Let me keep my distance always from those who think they have the answers. Let me keep company always with those who say, look, and laugh in astonishment and bow their heads. Amen.